Hi, I'm Steve Broughton, the Senior Minister here at Ontario Christian Church, and this is your Midweek Encouragement. Have you ever struggled with being, stubborn? You know deep inside you're supposed to do something different in your life. You're supposed to change something, but there's also this will, this self-will inside of you that's fighting it at every step. Even though you can see a bigger picture and you can even see the end zone, like if I get there, things will be different. And yet there's something inside of us that just bucks up against it all. Like, I don't want that. I want it, but I don't want to change. I think sometimes God comes to us and He asks a really simple question: do you want to be well? And I think inside of us there's this battle that happens sometimes. It's like, yes, I want to be well, but I don't want to make the change or trust you or do the things you're calling me to do in order to be well. Like, I don't want to do that. And I think that battle is consistent. Like, it's something we often go through. We act like children, little children. We instead of submitting to God's plan and will, we just look at Him and go, listen, I know that's what you want, but I'm going to do it my way. And I think in that process, we find ourselves exhausted and frustrated, and we may, say things or do things that aren't really a quote-unquote of our nature, but it brings out who we actually are and what we're actually struggling with out of us. And we have to come face to face in the mirror with reality that I know what I ought to do, but in my flesh and who I am, I'd rather not do it just to be stubborn. In the case in the Bible, there's a story about a man who, frankly, is physically unable to walk and move, and it's not something that he has willfully chosen necessarily even. But Jesus asks him a really important question in the midst of this narrative. He asks, do you want to be healthy? He literally looks him in the eye and says, do you want to be healthy? I want to ask you that today, this week as well. Do you want to be well? And if so, are you doing the necessary things in order to be well? And I'm talking spiritually, emotionally, physically, all these things that are within your control. Are you willing to make the changes and to pursue the things that God has called you to pursue in order to actually be well? As a matter of fact, the Bible goes on to say about this man is that he was challenged to just stand up, pick up your mat, and walk. And Jesus gave specific instructions of these are the things I need you to do, and we'll see if you have faith to walk into healing. Now, I'm not talking to you about physical healing necessarily, but I want you to notice the track that happens. This man's down and out, and Jesus seeing him down and out says, do you want to be healthy? Like, is that something you desire? And the man's, of course I want to be healthy, but I can't get to where I need to get in order to be healthy. And Jesus gives him a list of commands. Do these things, rise up and walk. I think the same thing is true within our emotional, spiritual life as well. There's certain things that we see in our life that are keeping us held hostage, and we're actually holding ourselves hostage. And God comes up to us and says, do you want to be well? And we have to honestly answer that question. Like, do I truly want to be well? Do I want to walk out the things God has called me to walk out? Or instead, do I want to remain in this stuck place and blame everybody else and all the circumstances around me for why I'm here? And God comes and says, yeah, but do you want to be well? Take up your mat and follow me, right? Walk. I've challenged us last week to think about the fact that the scriptures say to take up your cross how often daily and follow after Christ, right? But we don't do that in our own strength. We do it in the strength of the Holy Spirit, because just as the resurrection reminds us of the power of God, God then says to us, listen, if you're a believer in Jesus, you also have the gift of the Holy Spirit to move you towards pursuing God and loving others. But the first question that has to take place, do you want to be well? Listen, the only way to understand the commandments of God is to get in His Word and be around other believers that are encouraging one another to live out His Word and to come under submission of God, His Word, and His Holy Spirit, and to pursue the things God has called you to pursue. But first you have to answer the question, do you want to be what? Well. So I want to challenge you to join us this Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday, as we see what it means to surrender ourselves, submit ourselves to God, and to watch His power be what moves us forward into new life and new hope and gives us purpose for living. So join us this Sunday at 10 a.m. as we gather together to be excited about the fact that God has given us and offered us a brand new life. But we have to answer the question, do I want to be well? Can't wait to see you Sunday. God bless.